Welcome to Ascend with Courtney Smith. My guest today is Ari Singer. She is so impressive a human being. I'm just going to embarrass her. I met her. She's a cousin of a mom friend of mine, Nicole. And the first time we met was at like a kids' music. I think when you hosted that music thing in your backyard.
Yeah, that's possible.
She has the most insane backyard you've ever seen. It's like if child development was a backyard. It's like the backyard of a child's dream. And then I just started chatting with her, and she's a pediatrician and knows so much about child development. And pretty much every time we hung out since, I would corner her and ask her like 10 questions about how to best raise my children. And she gives such good advice that changed my life. So I'm excited to share her wealth of knowledge today. So introducing Ari Singer, Dr. Ari Singer. So I know how I would describe you, but I want to align that with who you actually are and what your actual titles are and what you actually do, because my obsession in all of our conversations have been around like early childhood development of age like 0 to 7. You've given me excellent advice of not over-programming my kids, so I can't wait for you to hum a few bars on that. But you are a pediatrician that specializes in child development and neurodiversity.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we met, I had Lauren in 6 different programs. She was in like gymnastics and tennis and squash and 2 different kinds of dance. Actually, no, 3. And
I
doing
signed her up for competitive dance.
For 2 hours. I actually put her in the trial class for 2 hours on the first day of junior kindergarten.
That's when we had the intervention.
Yeah, Courtney, put down the booking site. But as a mom, you just want to do what's best for your kids, and you want to give them the best possible upbringing and the most opportunities. And there's a lot of pressure to, do you have your kids in this? Do you have your kids in that? Are they going to fall behind? What if they don't know how to learn? What if they don't know how to swim? What if they don't know how to skate? And so I think you can give into the societal pressures, especially living in Midtown, where kids are really overprogrammed. And I genuinely did it out of a place of love and out of a place of wanting to do what's best for my kids. Mm-hmm. But can you tell me some of the science or some of the advice you gave me, knowing that I had my 4-year-old in all of these programs?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, your experience is the norm, pretty common. So definitely the average person I would interact with would be doing something similar. So that is...
Like Nicole. We love Nicole, but fellow overprogrammer.
Yes, to this day. Yeah, I think that it definitely, as you say, comes from a place of people thinking that more is better. But actually, it is the opposite. Less is more. And that's true in really most things about early childhood development. And really, that's about a few different things. So children are not mini adults. Their brains, their bodies, the things that they need, they are unique. That's not to say that they aren't, intelligent or their own individuals, but we often treat children like they're mini adults, both in terms of the way that we approach their life or their schedule, our expectations of them, the way we respond to them, and it's just not developmentally appropriate. Mm-hmm. And so in the early years, the main sort of building blocks are around attachment. That's sort of the first big one, to the primary caregiver, which is usually one of the parents, and then, or both of the parents, and then other sort of close family members, nannies, grandparents, etc. And it's really about building that secure attachment, which is a safe base that everything else comes from. And so the attachment starts really early, like in utero, assuming that you have a baby by being pregnant. But basically as soon as you interact with the baby, and it starts with things by like smell and pheromones and the sound of your voice. And basically babies learn safety through those regular, predictable, nurturing interactions and co-regulation. And people are usually pretty good at that at the baby stage. And then for some reason, by the time kids are toddlers, that no longer becomes intuitive and there's this switch.
Yeah, because you want your kids to behave and to do what they're told and to be a good listener.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get them on your routine and your schedule, and you need to get out the door at a certain time. So I definitely already, like, I'm already having an aha of like, they're not little adults. Like, I need to remember that as they're like having meltdowns, but really it's like, they're learning to regulate their emotions, and they don't understand that we need to be out of the house at 8:00 in the morning. Like, they don't get why it's so important to put their boots on.
Totally.
And so like patience is something that I can definitely struggle with, but it's hard to adjust to the toddler way of life.
For sure. And every stage is different, but there are sort of commonalities among the stages, right? So for some reason, in society, we don't do a lot about what is sort of typical development, and the expectations, again, are really adult based, and the interventions are really adult led, and it's very rarely about what are the kids' needs and how to go from that perspective. Which makes sense kind of in the modern world. You as adults are just, everyone's overwhelmed and doing their best, but it's not actually what's best for the kid. So there are going to be lots of times where as a parent or as a family, you make a decision that's maybe not optimal for your kid's development, but it's optimal for the overall family need or the parents' need to function. And that's fine if that's the reason why you're choosing it. Parents count too. It's not all about the kid.
Or it's not. I was killing myself to leave work by 4, to get home by 4:15, to pack her gymnastics bag, to pick her up early from daycare at 4:30, to get across town to 4:40. Like, so I was murdering myself to do that. Right? And then I'm irritable because I'm like, get in the car. I'm trying to take you to gymnastics. And then like to find out that it's not even what's best for them. It actually took such a burden off of my shoulders of feeling like I have to do that to be a good mom, to being like, or I don't have to do that, or maybe it's not even in their best interest to take them to all these 7 activities a week, right?
So that's why when we go back to it, like at the very first sort of building block, it's about attachment. It's about your relationship with your family, essentially. And building on that sort of trust, which requires presence. It requires attunement. It requires nurturing. Attunement means sort of reading your kids' cues and responding accordingly. And when we are really stressed or really focused on certain outcomes or timelines, we're not able to be present and do that attunement because we're sort of all in our head about our schedule. And that's a really big problem in terms of the attachment relationship. And that in and of itself can cause a lot of small ruptures and lead to a lot of emotional dysregulation for the kids. And then again, sort of when we think of the next sets of building blocks, it's really around building emotional regulation, social relationships, and play. And similarly, in the early years especially, that requires a lot of adult presence, not necessarily adult direction, but adult presence and co-regulation. And so again, a lot of this sort of early work and early development is based in the family unit or an extended family unit and in the home. And so again, this is not like a knock on daycare, of course, like everyone can do something different. But the point is that when you have a choice about your extra time in young children, it's definitely in their best interest to do less and to spend more time at home in familiar environments with open-ended play and with responsive parenting, basically.
Honestly, this was a game changer because I went from being totally exhausted and having Lauren in so many different extracurriculars to not enrolling her in anything, partially because we were transitioning to potty training and no night diapers and no naps and away from daycare and into JK. And it was like, there was a lot going on. And honestly, I was losing my mind with all these programming and running around every single day and all the bags and all the snacks.
She was feeling.
Right?
She's a tiny little person.
Oh my God, I know. And then, so starting in September, when I was in January, the last term, she was in 0 programming. And it was weird that like, I felt guilt about that. And I felt a bit insecure that like, people were like, oh, what is Lauren in? I'm like, she's in nothing right now. She's like, and then I found the need to justify, like, she just started JK and we're working on this. And she comes home at 5 exhausted, which is all true. But I found myself needing to like justify to other people why she wasn't in any programming because it's become like the expectation of good parenting that you like should have them in something, you know? But I noticed like it was definitely the right move for me and her because I was really irritable and snapping because I was trying to get her to things. And now I just pick her up at 5 and take her home, and like she colors while I cook dinner.
That's amazing.
And she like shows me her pictures and we talk, and like her emotional regulation is definitely better. She's having much less like meltdowns because I'm not forcing her into all of these environments all the time.
And she's not feeding off your stress.
I never thought about that, but that's so true.
Right? So when you're stressed and irritable, she's feeding off of that. You guys have like a dynamic, symbiotic relationship, right? So she can feel you. So even if you're saying things that are nice or right,
but you're like, get your shoes on.
That's super stressful. That's super stressful even if you're adult and it's your friend or your partner. But if it's your parent, that's extremely dysregulated.
That is so true.
Yeah, so it's not just about the things you're not making her do. It's also about like
my
your
energy.
state and what you're modeling and your energy.
I'm definitely more patient. My cup is much more full. I'm definitely a better mom not having on so much programming in every way, shape, or form. I just feel I feel more regulated. Yeah. What was it that you told me about like the Nordic Scandinavian way of not having so much adult-led things until age 7?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah.
So basically, again, this is something we do very badly in North America. And a lot of that is just about like our sort of like hyper-capitalist structure and our lack of sort of social safety nets. It's different there in terms of the way that they prioritize child development and maternity leave, and they support people. So the whole system is set up really differently. So a lot of this idea of the way that our system is set up and the expectations are based around maximizing sort of parental output at work, which we don't realize. So in that society, which is set up very differently, first of all, the families get like, I don't know if it's 18 months, but like some extraordinary amount of mat leave and pat leave to be home with their families.
That's so nice.
Yeah. And all of the things are a bit different. So the way that school is up until age 7, I believe, very child-led, because children learn through play. So people think that play is like an extracurricular or a waste of time, but it's actually not. Play in young kids, under 7 for sure, is the primary way that children learn. And they learn best when that play is self-directed or with other peers, with minimal adult meddling, unless absolutely necessary. But the way we do it here is play is usually something that an adult sets up that's a specific activity with a lot of instructions and a specific goal, and a lot of like adult oversight and a lot of adult correction. And that's not play. That's just like another adult-led activity. That's not what kids need. So in sort of Scandinavian countries, the school is fundamentally open-ended, and there's a lot of outdoor time. Like at least half the day is outdoors, like kids playing in the woods. Have you ever seen Bluey?
Yes.
So it's kind of like the school at Bluey in Bluey.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, it's all like really about sort of open-ended imaginative play, and the teacher doesn't sit there and like have the kids sit in a file and be quiet with, you know, their eyes on them. They learn through play and through discussion, and the teacher is more of a guide and helps sort of manage things, but isn't doing a lot of like direct adult-led instruction. And so they don't sit and do like direct instruction in reading and writing until about age 7. There.
Wow.
And despite that, and we start this around age 3, JK, sometimes even preschool, with sitting down and learning the letters and learning writing and a lot of direct adult-led instruction, they have the highest literacy rates in the world.
These Nordic countries. Wow.
And so it's very
counterintuitive. Yeah.
Yeah. And even again in the early years, even this very open-ended school is often half day.
Interesting.
Or if there is like an option for extended time for the kids, for the parents to work, it's basically like what we do here as aftercare, but starting after lunch.
Interesting.
So it's all just like mixed age, peer, open-ended play. Because again, that's how kids learn.
This actually makes me feel so much better about before and after care, because Lauren is in both. Like first of all, the school day is not really aligned with working, because it's like 9 to 3, I think. So Lauren's in before care and after care, but it's her favorite part of the day.
Of course.
They're so fun. She gets to play. She like her best art is in before and after care. Yeah. Her like coolest project, like she made a kite. It was like these 2 paper plates stapled together with like this tassel-y thing. Like she makes these cool things in before and after care when she has this like creative expression, of this freedom to just go down a rabbit hole, and it's not so structured.
Absolutely.
Not to say we love our school, we love our kindergarten teacher. You know, we're in this system. But when I think back to like how frustrated I felt watching her play tennis when there's an instructor standing over her, like, no, hold it like this, no, like this, okay, rack it up, okay, and swing, and they're doing drills, and at the time I'm like taking videos, and I thought it was so cute, and like these programs are full.
Yeah.
They're waitlisted, they're full, you have to be on at 7 a.m. to get your kids into these things. Yeah. It's like they're sought after, they're encouraged, they're celebrated, they're like an expectation. Yeah. But now, like after talking to you and now looking back at some of those things that I had put Lauren in, I'm like, no one just want to play tennis right now. It wasn't fun.
It's not developmentally appropriate. So again, it's more like age 6, 7.
Yeah.
That like grade 1, grade 2, that they have the developmental skills to be able to learn in that very structured adult way. And it's not that you can't force it in, we'll say, a neurotypical, developmentally typical child. You can, but it's not good for them.
Yeah.
It's not good for them. You're forcing a child with different needs and a different brain to function like a mini adult to satisfy this adult-led belief or interest or goal, right? It's not in their best interest. And play does not mean, again, you as an adult need to engage in play the whole time with your kid. That's also not what I mean. It's not about entertaining your kid. It's about giving them downtime where they use open-ended things in their environment to explore, because kids use play to process things that they're experiencing. They use it to process conflict with peers, conflict with adults, things that happen at school, scary things, unexpected things. Like if you watch kids play sort of from afar, you'll hear them integrate all those themes into their play.
That is so interesting.
It's almost about building a skill at this point. Like it's something that used to happen naturally because of the environment that we set up for them and the social expectations, and now it's the opposite. Now it's like a skill we have to develop in our kids. Yeah. Because we've created environments that don't center that, don't produce that.
Yeah. No, I'm so grateful you came, and I was so excited to have you on, because honestly, conversations we had in, what was that, like August, September, or maybe even like July, they like changed my life. Like it kind of makes me like emotional to think about it, because you want to be the best mom you can be, and you just think you're doing your best,
of course,
and then you're like exhausted, all the time, like, and then to learn that you're like not even helping them, and then now it's like, wait, I took all that away, and now like we have the best relationship.
That's amazing.
I mean, she's 4.5, but like we've ever had, because we play in the morning. Like we get ready together, and she wants to get ready with me, and she wants to like brush her hair when I brush my hair.
But again,
and she wants to like come down and have breakfast,
learn, right? Is that play and that modeling, right? And the other thing is like kids want to be engaged in their own kid way in the adult world, but not in this like really forced way with adult expectations. So kids naturally, young kids, toddlers especially, love to help. They love to help in the kitchen. They love to sweep. They love to clean. They like to set the table.
Help.
And it's not actually useful as an adult, which is why we often shut it down, because we're irritable and we're like, this is more work.
We just want to be efficient. We're going to get it done. Yeah, we have a million things to do. Yeah,
but that's not what they need. They need us to slow down, and they need us to let them engage on their level. And when that becomes a different way that they play, right? And so that is super helpful. And it's hard. I mean, even for me, I'm confident in this science. I'm confident in my, expertise, as this is part of my job and my experience. And I still get a lot of questionable looks multiple times a week when people say, like, what activities are your kids in? Or what are you doing over the holidays? Like, what we did over the holidays? Nothing.
Yeah, same.
Nothing. Yeah. And again, every family is going to be a bit different. I have kids that are a bit more introverted / the way that we raise them. So it's not saying if you do stuff over the holidays, you are a bad parent. That's not what I'm saying either. Yeah. But what I'm saying is you need to be able to know yourself and know your kid. Again, it's about attunement.
Totally.
Right? So I'm an introvert. My husband is an introvert. So we feel stressed and irritable when we're on the go. Our kids are also introverts. So again, it will look a bit different if your family is extroverted, but it's about knowing what recharges you and what what fills your cup and your kid's cup, and doing things according to those needs and not societal expectations. And my kids independently said, like, this was the best, holiday we've ever had because we did nothing. We stayed in pajamas.
You spend time as a family, quality time. Like that's,
yeah. And it was the same with presents. Like, kids don't need presents. They don't need toys. Like, they like to feel, they like traditions. They like memories. They like things that feel special. But they don't need stuff.
Yeah.
And if you are going to get stuff, getting stuff that can be used. So all of our gifts were things that were like arts and crafts, or interesting open-ended toys that we could build with together or use in a bunch of different ways, or activities we could do together, like going to the Nutcracker. Like, those are things that they really enjoyed. Random gifts under the tree are just things that they opened. The toy did the work for them for a period of time. It might have held their interest for a few hours. The next day, they're out of it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.